What is up? Have not made a video in a while. I think I made one probably at the end of last week or beginning of this week. I don't remember, but I didn't post it. I didn't think it was any good quality. Not like I put a lot of time and attention to the quality, but I think it was the words I was saying weren't any sort of valuable. But I haven't posted. I haven't been consistent. Even personally, I haven't been consistent with working out or anything like that. And I got to remind myself that I'm documenting this process, right? I'm not doing this for views. I'm doing this for myself, and I can go back and look at times when things were up and down. So this recent month has been a real grind. So there's a lot of exciting stuff that's happening and happened, and there's a lot of other things that are going on, and I just want to share kind of what's going on. So past 2 weeks, I've been back on like a serious work grind, working anywhere from pretty much like 16-hour days. Get up at 4, start work at like 4:30, and pretty much going the entire day till like 7:30, 8 p.m. And I haven't had to do that pretty recently. Usually I'm working a solid like 8 or 10-hour day of like real, genuine, good, deep working out the whole nine. This has been straight work. Haven't been working out, and really just been in the grind scene. So the reason for that was because when you own a real business, things happen. So I won't get into details, but we had some staffing issues. So we were low staffed and we needed a lot of help, and I had to step back into the business. Alongside with that, we had people going away, so it was kind of just like two fires crossed each other, and you gotta do what you gotta do. I said to step back in, had to really lead by example and help the team out in any way. And in addition to that, I'm actually sitting in my new office. I now have a full-on suite for my studio. So my studio is in a basement, and it's roughly 3,800 square feet, and we had no office space. So I actually had a private office where I used to take my videos in. That was like 5 minutes from the gym, and we needed to build more office space for my team, and I had the opportunity to get this suite on the second floor of the building we're in, and it has 2 offices, private offices, like a kind of like a middle hallway type room, secretary looking area, and then a conference room. It's beautiful, it's awesome, but had to get people to paint it, do the molding, clean it up. I had to then personally remove a lot of stuff and get it all set up. Had to get it moving, ready. And then today I surprised my team with it. It was really funny. They had no idea. So not this weekend, next week, I'm bringing my team to a fitness business conference, our core team, and we are going to be getting our front desk, our office in the gym now is actually going to be renovated into like a nice front desk area, but then we lose that office. So the entire time our team thought that we were going to be building out another office in this other section of the gym, and they were just like, that's going to all be done within that weekend. We're away from like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I was like, yeah, they got like a crew of 8 guys, like they come in and rip it out, they work all night, blah blah blah. So then today we had a leadership meeting at 11, and right before I was like, hey guys, one of the accountants, there's an accountant up here. She's actually in like right across from us. I was like, she wants to, she was telling me about this promotion that she does. She works with small businesses. She does all the employees' taxes for a really cheap rate, yada, yada, yada. So I sold them on the idea that we had to get like sold for 5 minutes. And I was like, let's just go up to her office. I think she has like a conference room in one of them, so let's go. So we walk in and the doors are all open, and I guess I should just show the suite at this point. And I brought them in. So this is my office. there's not much in here. This is the temporary desk. And then, so that's the door you enter from. So there's this like section area. There's this like really cool kitchenette, right? And then there's this conference room. So I brought them in here and I was like, yeah, like we were gonna get sold. And then I was like, they're all like, oh, it's really nice up here. Like, and one of them I think said like, oh, like imagine like, or this would be nice. Like, can we get this? Can we get a conference room? And I just kind of stood there and I was just like, well, this is our office. And they're like, what? And I was like, go look. And then this is gonna be like our sales room where like our GM and sales staff is. So they have the desk, right? I got them all, I was able to get these desks in this like table. I was able to get them. So, you know, those are all iMacs. And then I have mine that's gonna be coming up here. So there's stuff in that office that we gotta come up here. But it's really nice because when you're doing office work and my team needs to do that other stuff besides training, they can come up here and then my sales guys don't have to worry about the music and can make things more streamlined and legit. And then this is my office. So really cool, you know, still have to next week then now move everything out of the office and into here. There's really not much. Luckily there's an elevator. So that was that. But, and that's all good and all, right? But, you know, unfortunately, you know, we've had, like I said, some staffing issues. So, you know, I'm really finding the value right now of how important it is to have an onboarding process, right? Building a playbook. And you hear that like, oh, your operations manual, your SOPs, right? System and processes. So Trainual, which is an awesome software, if you've never heard of it, that you basically can put in all your, it becomes your business playbook, like your business into a software, and it's meant for training and all this stuff. So we just hired a new trainer, and I was able to really grind and build out a training process on how we, you know, train our classes. And it helped that I had to step back in and train because I got like a refresher of everything. And seeing how fast and efficient he's onboarding within 3 days of going through this like course-like system with questions and everything, it's really, really cool to see how much time it bought me back, but also then my team and how it's gonna buy back their time and just streamline the process, right? And then it makes the expectations super clear and all that good stuff. And then we're gonna be hiring a salesperson. We're gonna be doing some other stuff with that. And then we're you know, gonna be bringing on like fitness associates, like people who can really manage like the customer service front desk sort of thing. And then essentially we're gonna be onboarding our head salesperson to be GM. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And on top of that, I'm personally moving into a new apartment. We're getting the keys next week. And like I said, I'm bringing my team to a conference on this, not this weekend, next weekend. And then on top of that, I'm getting sued or I'm getting threatened to be sued. And I think I've heard like Andy Frisella, or I've heard successful people say like, you know, you're doing well when you're threatening to get sued or whatnot. And the story behind that is there's a gym in Florida called Sweat Therapy Fitness, and they are a one location boutique studio in Tallahassee, Florida, and they do everything, right? They have group training, they got small training, they got personal training. Typically when people have things like that, they're probably doing okay. And we at the trainer page call our brand is Sweat Therapy. It's an educational content. It's in our mission statement, right? Our goal is to show people how working out is a mental benefit. We want to show our members the mental benefits of working out, right? So we call it Sweat Therapy. And yes, we've said Sweat Therapy classes, Sweat Therapy sessions, and all that stuff. Now online on our website, it does briefly say things like Sweat Therapy or Sweat Therapy classes and Sweat Therapy workouts, the Sweat Therapy schedule. So Sweat Therapy Fitness technically owns the trademark Sweat Therapy for the category of fitness classes and anything related with it. So technically, yes, I'm not allowed to use it. But the initial concept of a trademark is to not prevent any cross confusion. So if I owned a gym in Florida and I had more stuff that said sweat therapy, and someone was looking up sweat therapy, they came across Sweat Therapy Fitness thinking it's my gym, and they opted in and it was a confusion, that's when red flags and things come up. So in this case, what ended up happening was, I really believe if we were to rebrand to the name Sweat Therapy, it would be an awesome kind of rebrand, re-grand opening sort of marketing play that we can push, especially now that we have the infrastructure and the team and the processes. Like, it could just set us on fire, right? And there's two things when you hear about that. Like, people are like, oh, I should rename my business, I'll rebrand, it can be a huge marketing campaign. And it's kind of like, well, people don't know who you are already. Like, is that really the issue? Maybe there's something internally you gotta fix. And at this point, I figured, I've questioned that. I said, is it that important, right? And I've had very successful people that I've spoken to basically tell me, like, I think it is a good idea, you should rebrand. And they were like pushing me to do it. So I said, okay. So now, knowing the legal world, I said to myself, okay, well, I can do one or two things. I know this gym, Sweat Therapy Fitness, that I never contacted yet. They have the trademark, because if you look it up, it's public information. And they're old. Based on the foundings and stuff I found, they're very old. I was like, they probably never hear about us, right? But God forbid we did all this and I get sued, like I already am, or threatened to get sued. Now, right, what happens is I really screw myself, because if I rebrand, I did all the work, now I have to change it again, it's a whole headache. So now they've reached out and they're threatening to, sue us. Well, sorry, I shouldn't say that. So now, knowing all this, I said, you know what? One of my core values is do the right thing. I reached out to them. How's it going? My name's Nick, right? At first, I tried just getting I just wanted to see if they'd allow me to sign off a contract saying, hey, we give you permission to use the name. I was like, well, you're in Florida, you're in Tallahassee. I was like, we're in New York. No confusion whatsoever. Like, we just want to use that name. They were like, no. And they're like, and that was really it. So that was a few months ago. Now, fast forward to last month, I reached out much more formally, basically saying, I've prepared an offer to buy the trademark from you. And they were intrigued, and they're like, well, what's your offer? Now, we all know the rule of negotiating. And if you don't, you never say your highest offer, right? When you're gonna go buy something and you know you're willing to pay $200 for it, or in this case, like thousands of dollars or something, I'm not gonna give them my highest fucking ball, because sometimes you'd say, hey, if I know I'm gonna pay $200, I say, will you take $120 for it? And they're like, yeah, you just saved yourself $80. Like, cool. So I went in and lowballed my initial offer, and they're like, we've worked whole 14 years just to give up our name. And I'm like, and I specifically said to them, and this is where age, I think, comes in, and just stupidity, because I fucking hate these people right now. I specifically said, nothing will change within your business. You will have the rights to use the name in Florida. All I want to buy is the name to use in all other 49 states. That's it, right? Basically meaning all that's going to change is online, instead of Sweat Therapy Fitness owning the trademark, Nick Page will own the trademark, and they can still use it. And that's it. And for doing so, for letting me take ownership of it, I will pay them a good amount of money for it. Probably more than they make in profit over 6 months. Let's just be honest. So they say that, so they basically say, we're not giving up our name for that low amount of money. In my head, I'm like, okay, this is a negotiation. So instead of saying name your price, I was like, what? And this is something I learned from the book, Never Split the Difference. I forget the guy's name, he's the FBI, like, negotiator. So I go, what is an amount that you would consider to be fair in order for this deal to happen? Something like that. They never answered me. And that was a month ago. And then they also said to me, I think it was on the phone or text, or, we also looked at your website, and if we do, if that doesn't change, like, we're going to pursue legal action. And I'm like, okay. I mean, they did warn me, and I kind of had a heads up they would, but they actually did. So I got contacted by their lawyers basically saying, you are infringing their thing. This needs to be changed by this date, or we're going to continue to pursue with legal action. So I go back to her, and I was like, and I literally said, I go, well, okay, like it's sweat therapy fitness for fitness classes. Like if we call our classes, sweat therapy workouts, sweat therapy sessions, whatever, that's an infringement. I get it. But it's in our mission statement. Like we're on a mission to show our members the benefits of working out, like understanding this concept of how this is a new sort of therapy, right? Like that sort of thing. That doesn't mean we're calling our fitness classes sweat therapy sessions or classes. We're just saying like we preaching the educational piece of concept called sweat therapy. And by law, like you can do that in a trademark aspect because it's like in the mission statements, it's an educational thing. So I send this back to the lawyer. Shout out to ChatGPT, and they literally go. They literally say, well, no, like it's still technically like at fault, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So finally, so then I responded back first, right? Like, well, let's just say I did go the educational route and you're still able to take action. Like, what's the repercussion? Like, what are you suing me for? Like, how much? Like, tell me what you're gonna endure, right? Then it went into, then I thought of, I was like, you know what? As much as I hate these people, I was like, let me just see if they would consider allowing me to use the name, and I will pay them a royalty. As much as I don't want to, because I actually hate these people, and it's lit such a fire into my ass because, and I'll get to that in a sec. I'm like, listen, do the right thing. If they agree to a price that I could pay every year on a royalty just to allow you to use the name in New York, whatever, then I know my ass is safe and I can have more flexibility to have it on my website, whatever, right? But the fact of the matter is, these fucking people are so stubborn to understand exactly what I'm requesting. And over time, now that I've been in the game, and I know what I just realized, I told my girlfriend this yesterday, I go, I actually started the training, like, I guess this journey, November 14th, 2017. So you're talking going into year 7 or 6, 7, right? And realistically, it took 6 years to get to a little bit of success. Because when I say success, I compare myself to people that are very out there. And I'm like 0.5% where I want to go. But as you start to climb this ladder and gain a little success, and you start to get recognized of like, oh, your business is doing good, like you're helping so many people, like there's so many members, blah, 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 right? Because for a gym to get to, like we're at like 350 members. We're on pace to end the year at 400, almost 500, truthfully. And we've been stuck at less than 100 even getting there was tough, but like it took a long time. I went years without paying myself. It was a real fucking grind. I had no help. I never had extra money, never did any of that. Went into a ton of debt, the whole classic story. And in the beginning, I've had people doubt me. I've had a lot of people, over time consistently doubt me and say my comments, and that lights a fire in your ass. You just want to kill them, right? The stories I can tell you of people wanting to not see you win and prove you wrong, and there is no other fucking push than that, right? And I call it fuck you energy. And unfortunately, when you start to win into a caliber, you have people supporting you, you have some people that make comments, but it's hard to find, and then you're really grateful, and it's very difficult to actually refire that real oh, you're talking shit type of mentality, I want to fucking bury you. And the fact that these fucking people in Florida are doing this to essentially see me, they don't want to see me win, whether it's jealousy, whether it's just stupidity, and the fire, this fire that it puts on my ass, that I just want to kill. and this is, I said this to I think my sales team or my staff once, that sometimes I wake up in the morning, and I learned this from Andy Frisella, like I wake up and I'm like attack, and like kill. Like the fire that gets lit on I wake right up and I'm ready to fucking go. And a lot of it stems from me just stacking all of these people that have doubted me. And this is now the top of my list. And, Dave Portnoy has champagne bottles of all his enemies, people that wanted to see him win or fail. And you hear a lot of these successful people have these people in the back of your heads, and a lot of it's because it's an ego-driven, like, fuck you. And it's so true. And I even this whole experience with everything, I find it so valuable because I'm like, you are just helping me out so much. As stressful and annoying as it is, it's just thank you in the long run, right? All the people that I literally said I hate to the end of time, part of me though appreciates them doing that. So that's kind of a life update right now. I'll honestly, because of the room I have in my office here, I'm probably gonna have a nice little setup to make more videos consistently. But the reality is I had to put my head down and got to put in work. It's another core value of ours at the gym, put in work, and it's just part of the process. And I think I've gotten into my head a lot about when I don't work out consistently, like personal growth, there are seasons and times where you have to go all in on things, and you have to sometimes not put, having a shredded six pack is not my priority right now, right? Doing what I need to, what is required within my business to continue to grow and get to the level of success I know I can get to at a fast rate and efficiently, and make sure my team's supported and doing all that stuff, that's critical to me right now, because I'm in a position where I support, people. I support a lot of, this is people's main job, and, I'm the key source of their living, and there's a lot of pressure on you in that case. So yeah, that's my 21 and 53 second update of what's going on May 24th, 2024. So keep you in the loop what happens, and I'll see you on the other side.